Reading with your kids.
Hey, this is going to be a really fun episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We have two wonderful guests celebrating a beautiful and fun picture book. It's called How Dinosaurs Went Extinct, a safety guide. Please welcome from New Jersey, the author, Ame Dyckman. Ame, how are you?
I'm doing great, Jen. Thank you for having us on the podcast today.
Hopefully, Ame will wake up in a few minutes, but until then, joining us from Ohio is the illustrator, Jenn Harney. Jen, welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much for having us. We'll try not to talk over you too much, and I'll try not to ASL cheer so that the Zoom camera comes on every time I do it.
ASL cheer, loud cheer, whatever. We're going to have a great time,
Okay.
Ame, why don't we start with you? Tell us all about How Dinosaurs Went Extinct.
Ooh, okay, so our book, How Dinosaurs Went Extinct, a safety guide. It's with our pals at Little Brown Books for Young Readers, and it comes out on April 18th. And in this book is chock full of dinosaurs. Sometimes you get a dinosaur book, and that's a dinosaur, or maybe a dinosaur and dinosaur buddy. We crammed as many dinosaurs in this book as humanly possible, as dino-ly possible. I think we have a total of 25 different dinosaurs represented in some way, shape, or form, and most of them meet their great demise by doing things that they should not be doing. So, in addition to the dinosaurs, we wanted to have, something, a good takeaway, something for kids to learn. And in this book, it is safety. So, as we're musing on a family trip, dinosaurs go extinct anyway. It is revealed through Dad and Rhyme that all the dinosaurs went extinct by doing the very things that we tell kids not to do, being unsafe. So we have Gallimimus running with scissors. We have Ornithorhynchus, we'll get to that in a minute, jumping off the bed. We have Stegosaurus scratching their bug bites. We have Tyranesaurus Rex refusing to change their underwear. And we always tell kids, don't do any of these things. Now we know what could happen. And it was just ton of fun. I'm trying to censor myself and not use adjectives I shouldn't, because it was that much fun. Especially combined with Jen. I mean, this would not be a book without Jen, okay? It would just be a jumble of words, like I said before. Jen's amazing illustrations, you guys. I cannot wait for everyone to see the love and effort and hilarity that she poured into this book with all of the art. These are dinosaurs doing the craziest, wildest things. The expressions on their faces are priceless. It makes me laugh every time I see it. Take it away, Jen.
Well, Jen, I have to ask you, how does it feel, being an illustrator of kids' books? I'm imagining you're usually illustrating bright, happy things, and everybody is nice, and then here you are illustrating the end of multiple species. What was that like, becoming a destroyer?
Dream job. Absolute dream job. You get tired of doing cute and cuddly and everything has a happy ending. I listen to true crime podcasts while I'm working on children's books to just kind of sometimes cut the sugar. So this was a dream job. I put it out in the universe a couple of months before we hooked up to do the book that I really wanted to do illustrations for Ame. I really wanted to work with Ame. So this came out and it was like, oh my God, I wish I had written this, and I'm so glad I didn't, because Ame did it so much better than I ever could have. And it was like drawing for myself. It was a dream project, but a little bit of chaos is the most fun thing in the world to draw. Everything you shouldn't put into a book. It was perfect. It was just perfect.
But wait, lady, before we scare anybody, let's make sure that we understand. We're not actually showing the dinosaurs and the demise. We're showing the actions that if you were to carry it out would happen. It's not on the page, but it's enough of a reminder for kids. Hey, that thing, you want to do that thing? Don't do that thing. Look what could happen. So it's not, there's nothing like big or awful or scary. It's just these reminders like, dude, kiddo, be safe. You got one chance on this planet, kid. Don't blow it.
So it's every parental warning that you've ever given or gotten as a kid. Don't do that. Your face will freeze if you make that expression. It's absolutely every mom, dad, every caretaker that has ever taken care of a kid has said probably every one of these things to their kids at one time or another.
Right. Don't stand in the shopping cart. Don't poke the outlet with a fork. I mean, you say these things and they become the sing-song of kiddom because we all do it. Every one of these things, I'm like, oh yeah, I tried that. And luckily we're still here to tell the tale. So now we are telling the tale.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, don't stand in the shopping cart. That was something my wife told me last week.
See?
He needs the book.
You know what? That's what we do. We go for the books and the topics and the fun that will appeal to grown-ups as well as kids. Because, I mean, let's face it, we're all just big grown-up kids. Mm-hmm. You know, some of us a little less than others. And so, right? So you see yourself in these books, and that's the way it should be. Picture books are for everyone.
And they are for everyone. And that is something that we don't remember because there's so much wisdom and also so much fun. As you're talking about how dinosaurs went extinct, a safety guide, I'm picturing Bugs Bunny. I'm picturing, Roadrunner and Coyote.
Chuck Jones illustrations.
Yes. In fact, if you look at the genius cover that Jen has come up with, it's you see this for sure. Yep, totally. So for the viewers at home that are listening via podcast, we have a T-Rex guy in his tidy whities on roller skates, jumping off a ramp with a big rocket strapped to his back. And you're right, there's definitely a little, Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote vibe to especially this image, but all throughout. You gotta give props to like the people who came before, it's all influences. Jen and I are roughly the same age, and just from conversations we've had, we kind of dig the same things, which is awesome. Like it's never better than when you get somebody you're like, too. And I bet I know I did. My butt was on the couch on Saturday mornings. I'm watching every cartoon I could squeeze into my eyeballs. And I'm guessing Jen was a big fan of cartoons too.
No,
right?
I never watched one.
No, never, ever. Well, you have to catch up to, lady. And, no, they're phenomenal. I tell folks who are interested in getting into picture books, they're like, what do I do for research? And I'm like, well, of course, you go to the library, you go to your local bookstore, you read as much as you can in your genre. But then I tell people, now here's the fun homework, right? Go home and watch cartoons, because it's the same patterns. It's the same, you have to squeeze a big universe into either, 32, 40 pages or, 28 minutes or however much it is after commercials. You know what I mean? You have a very limited amount of space and time to tell the story and start training your brain to think like that and get across, here's the big action, here's the big, oh no, here's the big yes, and finally it looks like it's never gonna happen, and boom, and it comes together, yay, the end, scene. So, but yeah.
And illustrators have to take that a step further, because authors may be thinking in animation, and then we have to go, wait a second, we have 40 pieces of action to draw on one page. Okay.
Right.
How do we find the best moment? What's the best moment? And it's never the moment. It's the before and the after. Maurice Sendak, I met him one time, and that was his best piece of advice we ever heard from anybody, was never draw the it. Draw the before it and the after it, and let the kids fill in the blank for what actually happened.
That's brilliant. I am so jealous, you guys.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Absolute bucket. He's literally right beyond, I'm gonna have it, like, hi grandma, where's Maurice Sendak? Right? Wow, that's phenomenal. But absolutely true. And completely, hearing the advice that you were given, Jen, I totally see how you took that philosophy. Because
best piece of advice I ever got.
Yeah, the entire book is just like, you fill in the gap. What happens next? And boom, that's the dinosaurs meeting the, I shouldn't have done that, the entire point of that. But wow, that's so juicy and good, Jen.
So, Jen, you told us a couple of your inspirations are Chuck Jones and Maurice Sendak. Any other influences?
Oh, absolutely. Anybody I look at. That's the problem with being a visual person. You get the input from everywhere. It's always around you, but it's always been Jim Henson Muppets, Chuck Jones, anybody with the Looney Tunes. All of those childhood influences, the Rankin and Bass cartoons, with Snow Miser and Heat Miser, Paul Coker Jr., Saul Bass. I mean, the Pantheon, anybody in the Pantheon, Tommy DePaula, anybody you look at, the influences are always there, and they crop up in the strangest places.
Yeah. Well, Tommy was certainly one of our favorite authors here at the Jedley home. My kids loved it, and we loved, in particular, Tommy's book, Clown of God. And it was one I could never get through it. Being a clown, I could never get through it without tearing up a little bit towards the end. Amy, who are your influences?
Oh my gosh. So many on the previous list. Maurice Sendak's my all-time fave. Everyone goes, well, do you have a favorite book? You're not supposed to have a favorite book. I do. So Where the Wild Things Are. I mean, like, we can just quit. We're never going to make anything as good, but it's fun to try. Just I love all the old, like the 70s picture book folks, cause they took just these amazing risks and chances that I want to see more of today. So that's why, you go like, oh guys, that's kind of an edgy topic. It's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's find a way and tap into that whole, big message, of the 70s books that took risks and had fun and, crazy things. You're like, can I get away with this? Every time I sit down to write something, I'm like, can I get away with this? But, who's it? James Marshall, of course. Jack Kent, who did all the fun. I'm hoping I'm getting the name right. Gosh, I should have studied. But yeah, like basically, in addition to keeping up on everything that's coming out in literature nowadays, like you go to the library and, like, man, I had right for the, oh, new, or we just got in, or these books haven't even been stamped yet. Gimme. I always also run to like, what are the older ones? And you could tell when a book's, in the library, been in circulation for a while, or you go into a bookstore and you go, hey, who's your fave as a kid, guys, to the booksellers. And you get these old books and you go through them and you just go, oh, wow, here's how it all started. Making the analogy to TV again, it's like when you watch like, very old sitcoms, right? Like you'll watch like I Love Lucy or something, you'll go, oh my gosh, that was the origin of the joke. And you've seen the joke played out a million times in different, billion iterations, but you're like, that's it. That's where it started. And I think there's something very like all of us in some of these old like jokes and situations and books that, like you look at and you study and you go, okay, how do I make this applicable today? Because there's almost like a central thing that makes us all laugh, a central thing that makes us all cry, a central thing that makes us all like, like that's it. Get excited to learn or do. And I think there's a lot of those old messages in some of the older books. So the 70s books were it for me, baby. I 70s picture books. They're just so much fun,
It sounds great. You remind me, and Jen, this is something that one of the things I loved about Bugs Bunny, those old school Bugs Bunnies, is that I could still watch it now and enjoy it. Not because it's nostalgia, but because there's humor there that was meant for me. I didn't get it when I was a kid.
Same with the Muppets and Sesame Street. Yes. It works on so many levels. That's what works so well with what Amy wrote in The Dinosaurs. Because you're reading it, the kids will love it because it's dinosaurs and it's funny. The parents are going to read it and go, it's me. Just me. I am especially the mother figure in this. I think I am her. I just sitting. I mean, it pretty much is the dynamic of my family is the family in this group. Just going, everybody can find themselves, but the humor works not just because it's funny for kids, because then you kind of fall flat. If it's just funny for kids, yeah, it's funny, and everybody loves a good underwear joke. And I mean, I personally love a good underwear joke.
Jen,
I mean, I could write books on the subject about underwear, but I mean, it's just you have to have the heart behind it and the humor behind it that the parents are going to want to read this over and over and over again. And that's the same thing with the cartoons, and especially Muppets. I could go back to the old Muppet Show and just realize, and Sesame Street, all the jokes that went over my head as a kid, and thinking, no wonder my mom let me watch this, because she was laughing in the kitchen while she was making dinner, and I had no idea it was funny at the moment. But it's that same double humor, and I love that double humor.
Yeah.
And Amy does it so well.
it's because I'm you are too, you know, we're 5-year-olds and
we are.
Bodies, you know, so I think we do have those two characters that we're always trying to make laugh, or we're always trying to get interested. Jen brought up a great point though about the family in our book too, because it's not just the dinosaurs. The whole thing is bookended by a family trip to the museum, and she absolutely nailed this family. They're spot on perfect. I think everyone's going to see themselves in these family dynamics. We have the dad who has the answer to how did dinosaurs go extinct. Well, he has his answer. So, you know, when the kid goes, how did dinosaurs go extinct anyway? The mom goes, well, nobody knows for sure, but, you know, some people think it was this, or some people think it was
that. To my
that.
mind, the mom was an archaeology professor.
Yes, exactly.
In my mind, she's the archaeology professor. If you look at the illustrations, she's got little brontosaurus, she's brachiosaurus earrings on, she's got little buttons down the side. She's going for a whole educational vibe. And to me, she's the archaeologist in the family. She actually teaches this. And then there's this whole other.
The dad.
Yes.
Well, that's one of the neat things about being a dad, is that you can be ridiculous.
Yes.
It really is. It's just such, being a dad is so wonderful, and it's so much fun, because kids expect you to be a doof.
Right. Oh, we love picture book dads. Picture book dads are the best, right? They're, you know, they carry the story, they carry the joke. And, you know, and again, it could be either parent too, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, like, you know, and I think at any time we've both seen ourselves where we've been the ones who we're trying to impart the wisdom, and then we're trying to have the fun. But props
The dad is my husband in this book.
Is he?
Sorry, it's all completely autobiographical in the illustrations. Yeah, sorry, Kevin, it's you in this book.
Marvelous, Kevin. You came out great.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, right down to the arm hair, it's my husband in the book. So, sorry, hon.
He's resplendent arm hair. It's fabulous.
Secrets revealed here. I love it. I love breaking news here in the podcast.
You have to take your inspirations from everywhere.
Right. Now, does Kevin tend to answer questions in rhyme?
Oh, no. He never tends to answer questions like that. No.
Okay. So the response from the dad, the entire thing about each dinosaur, it is in rhyme. And this was one of the most challenging things I've ever been, to the point where, like, several times during the couple years process, I went, why did I do this to myself, right? It was crazy. I can't tell you how many dinners I burned while I'm sitting there counting syllables on my little fingers, and Jen, I imagine it's the same thing too when you started sketching and doodling and getting each dinosaur right. So again, can I give, like, huge props to Jen, because I know we mentioned the number of, you know, human characters and dinosaurs in this, but each one takes its own vision and then sketch and then sketch and then revise sketch and everything. I can't imagine. I mean, like most illustrators I know, like I've chatted with who've been like, wow, I have 4 characters in this book. It's gonna take a process. There were, I mean, like what? Like we're coming up on 30 altogether, I think, with all the
and they're all accurate-ish.
Yeah, exactly. See, okay, so that's the thing. So Jen and I are both like, ooh, we want science, we want facts. We're nerds. Shh, don't tell me.
I counted toes.
Yes,
I was counting toes and fingers. Because somebody out there's gonna know. You have to count the toes and the fingers.
Someone will post about it if we get it wrong. And so we don't get it wrong.
That's why I said it's accurate-ish.
Right. Because this still has to be cute and adorable and funny and visual and bring the kids in. But we also wanted to get it right. And so even from the start, when I'm making the list of like all the things we tell kids don't do, for your own good, keep you safe, I'm pairing it with different dinosaurs.
That was brilliant. Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Well, again, it's that we want to get it right nerd mentality, right? So I'm looking like, would this dinosaur actually do this? Or if I make a joke about forgetting to wash your hands, we have to go with the, Carnosaurus, the guy with the littlest hands because he can't reach the sink, like that kind of thing. And then I know Jen took it because Jen, in addition to all of her amazing illustrative knowledge and ability and everything, she also studied dinosaurs.
I did.
Yeah. I know, that was what Jen's like, no. I know, that was me when I found out, and I had no idea. That talk about the universe bringing us together, right? Like Jen mentioned, she said she wanted to work with me. I wanted to work with her. I had a lunch with her agent, like prior to this, and I pull her agent aside, and I'm like, hey, I got a project. And here's the thing, like publishing is so strange. A billion little details have to line up to make a project work, let alone like the person that you're hoping to get as the illustrator for your book kind of thing. So it was true universe bringing us together. They're like, yes, Jen's available. And yes, Jen would love to do this project. By the way, did you know she studied dinosaurs? I'm like, yeah, sure I do that. No, but inside I'm like, oh my, how could it be any better? It was phenomenal. And you can tell they look so good. So good. So I'm hoping like even all the museum folks will be like, dang.
I'm hoping.
You did good.
they're my biggest fear are the museum.
I see this in museum gift shops all over the world. So. And I think maybe, I have to ask, running with scissors and the little dinosaur can't reach the sink.
Right.
Why did the ferocious, fearsome Tyranesaurus Rex die because of dirty underwear?
What could
look
go
at the
wrong?
illustration?
Oh, So he's accumulated. So after not changing his undies for who knows how long, he's accumulated some flies. He's accumulated some odors, and again, like Jen mentioned, you don't show You don't show the thing, but you show the thing before or after. And you let the kids.
That was actually the hardest one because we wanted Mary Kate's note to me was mortal peril. I want these dinosaurs in mortal peril in every scene. Every one of these things should be leading to dinosaur extinction. And that's when it clicked that I can take this from here to here with the ridiculousness. So underwear, how exactly is he going to, if you look in the illustration, there's a comet coming towards him. In the background. So there is mortal peril, but if you see up in the corner, there's a flaming comet coming in as well. So he's oblivious to his own stink, but he also has he has flies and stuff, but yeah, he also is going to get hit by a comet because he had to be in mortal peril.
We did have to give a nod to the comet because that is one of the foremost theories of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, personally, I think it was more outlets and shopping carts, but, who knows? We weren't there.
Well, if the book is a quarter as fun as this interview has been, it's going to have families rolling on the floor. And I guess that's just a question to both of you, and I'll ask Amy first. What about that? I oftentimes, especially ask, new authors, do you ever take time to sit back and think that, there's going to be thousands of families curled up on a couch together, rolling around, laughing at this story that I wrote. What goes through your mind if you ever have a chance to think that?
Gosh, we hope so. I mean, that's the goal, baby. We want to bring more laughter. We want to bring more fun. We want to show families having a good time together, as does the family in this book. And we get to teach them something too in the process, where it's not didactic and it's not in your face and it's just fun. You come away like learning a little. That's just bonus, baby. But yeah, I'm all about the laughs. Jen is, as you can tell, hilarious too. And we're just trying to like make kids happy, make kids and families reading together happy. Dude, that's a good day. So even if I burn dinner, it's fine. You know, we did.
And I hope girls read this. That's my favorite part about this whole process is we're women writing about dinosaurs. Funny women writing about dinosaurs. You usually see, and if you listen to all of our references and who we love, they're mostly male references in the industry. Who we love are funny men. And to me, one of the best parts about this is we're funny. It's funny women, right? Doing funny stuff. I mean, that girls out there can read this and go, I like dinosaurs too. It's okay if I like dinosaurs, and it's great. And if I want to be a funny girl, it's okay to be a funny girl who likes nerdy stuff and stuff. That I love that. I love that. That as a woman, I got to do a dinosaur book that traditionally is a male thing. That's a big thing to me, and I hope that I hope there's a little weird girl sitting on a couch somewhere going, oh my goodness, I want to draw dinosaurs. And I can draw the dinosaurs. It's okay to draw the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well,
brought to you by two little weird girls.
there you go. Weird is a wonderful, wonderful thing. You know what else would be wonderful is if you both told us where we can go to find out more about how dinosaurs went extinct, a safety guide, and also more about your other books. So why don't we start with you, Jen? Where can we go?
I was going to say start with Amy. She's got all the wordy bits.
But okay. If you would like to learn more about how dinosaurs went extinct, a safety guide, you could visit our friends at Little Brown Books for Young Readers. They have lots of information about it, including perhaps soon our first review. We just got our first trade review and it's a good one, so we're very excited about that. It is available for pre-order everywhere that books are sold. Please throw your indies some love when you can. If you're lucky enough to have a local indie, you could stop by and inquire about the book. It does publish on April 18th, and we're very excited about it. Other books, yes, Jen and I both just got off like this amazing trek of like deadlines. Jen had more projects than me even, so like I was writing her the other day, yes, so lots of exciting new books coming out. And yeah, that's, this is, I think, like my 7th book with Little Brown. They're great folks to work with. We have some other exciting projects coming up. I think this is the first of at least 3 picture books this year for me. And we might possibly have 2 early readers too, depending on how things eke out. Publication dates are changing all the time, but I believe we are firm for Dinos on April 18th. So awesome. Like I said, you pre-order now, and be the first to get it when it comes out.
Awesome. And is there a website that they can go to that they can find out just about you?
Just about me, sure. I do maintain a website, sort of. It's amydyckman.com, but I'm always on Twitter, like literally always on Twitter. So you can find me there where I post.
That's where I found her.
Yes, there you go. That's how Jen and I became friends. Actually, we were Twitter pals, like, long before we got to, to work together or anything.
Amy's the first real author that ever commented on one of my illustrations when I put it on Twitter years and years and years and years ago. So,
cakes, right? Like, total small world, mm-hmm. right? But see, I knew it, baby. I knew it. I had the eye, and I'm like, ooh, she's good.
So, Jen, we can find you on Twitter, and are there other places we can find you?
I am pretty much horrible at keeping up with the websites and stuff. I'm a workhorse, so when I get a chance to update, it'll show up on Twitter where to find me, because I honestly am terrible with and I can't even remember the name of my own website at this point. I believe, hold on, I'm going to actually look it up because I feel like a complete idiot that I can't remember my own website.
You have dinosaurs on the brain. No worries.
I do, and it's like a prehistoric brain. I am at jkharney.blogspot.com.
All right.
And that's where I am. I knew it was something. I just couldn't remember if I used my real name or my.
You know what it is? It's like, oh my gosh, if I could sit down at a computer and I have time to sit down at a computer, you don't want to be playing with your website. You want to be story, drawing an illustration, writing down ideas, etc. I'm like, it's such a slog when you're like, oh man,
this is not my thing.
yeah, same. I love technology. It's great that it exists. I'm thrilled to be talking to so many people right now. That's kind of crazy when you think about it, right?
Yeah.
And if anybody follows Amy on Twitter, she's exactly the same on Twitter as she is when she speaks. It's like this. I've never seen anybody who can type. I don't know how fast you must be able to type.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, it's insane. I do the same stuff. I do typing errors all the time, but yeah, no, I love that about Twitter, because you get to talk to like everyone,
It's a great kidlit community.
Is nice. Like, you forget, like we're all in our own kind of like little community on Twitter for people that love reading and love books and love education and love kids. But you talk to anybody else, like in their different bubbles, and not every bubble is as nice as Kidlit is, but that's also kind of life too.
This is true. We've had an amazing time. I'm sorry we didn't have more energy during this interview, but we've had
I feel like we never let you talk, Jen. I'm so sorry.
No, this has been the easiest interview I've ever done. It's wonderful. You can sit back and just watch. We've had so much fun speaking to the author and illustrator of How Dinosaurs Went Extinct, a safety guide. Our guest has been Jenn Harney and Ame Dyckman. My friends, thank you so very, very much.
Thank you.
This was a lot of fun, and thank you for having us on the podcast. Thank you for what you're doing to promote literacy with kids and families and fun. And keep reading, everybody. We appreciate it.
I don't know about you, but I absolutely had such a great time with Amy and Jen. Such fun. Please be sure to join us for the next episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We're going to have a lot of fun with J.D. Peabody. He is here to celebrate the Inkwell Chronicles. It's his debut middle grade fantasy novel. That's the next episode of the podcast. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful. Of course, we're going to start by thanking the absolutely hilarious Ame Dyckman and Jenn Harney. Please be sure to check out How Dinosaurs Went Extinct, a safety guide. I also want to thank my team, Fatima Khan, Rory Grady, Jordan Saley, Stephanie Davila, Will Cheever, Cassandra Masonet, Sabrina Wu. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, and as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.